Conversations with My Sister, a live talk experience with delegates, queens, and allies of the Miss Full Figure DMV pageant about the world of pageantry and various daily topics. I am Director Lorraine Coleman-Ross, a woman full of ambition, passion, and a love for my fellow sister. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this rainy evening. It's a good time to sit in and listen to some good girl talk, I'm sure. We are back again with another episode of Conversations with My Sister. We are getting into knowing our 2021 delegates of the Miss Full Figure DMV pageant. I am going to be saying this whole series. I am super excited to introduce these women to you because each and every one of them have a phenomenal story, and I look forward to seeing them on the day, pageant day, after preparing for this particular process. So tonight we have our delegate sister, Miss Lakesha and Miss Aiyi'nah with us tonight. Hello, beauties.
Good afternoon, Director. How are you today? Good afternoon to all who viewed, and thanks for watching.
Oh, yes. Thank you, guys, for watching. So, ladies, we're going to get right into it because, we have definitely been preparing for this pageant thus far since March, right? March is when we begin our journey. Can you tell everyone where you're from and just a little bit about yourself? I'm going to start with you, Delegate Lakesha.
All right. I am from Richmond, Virginia. And a little bit about me. I am 37 years old. I currently work for the Hyundai dealership. And that's a little bit about me.
So you a lady in service like my dear self here.
Yes.
That's a tough field for us beautiful women, honey. So a kudos to you and what you do, because I know what type of work go into that. Miss Aiyi'nah, tell everyone a little bit about you, beautiful.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aiyi'nah Ford. I am in my 30s. We'll leave that there. I don't look like what I've been through. I'm born, bred, and continue to build in the Great Ward 8, which is located in Southeast, Washington, D.C.
Well, we both know that we're both from the same area as well. Born and bred in Washingtonians, honey, where you have to be able to get in, get out, and don't look like what you've been through, honey. Just make it listen. That's pretty much it, because everybody will assume. We know we get all these stereotypes as soon as they hear Southeast, honey, and they automatically got something to say. We ain't having it. Thank you. We're not having it. So, ladies, I want to get into talking about self. So when you think about you and who you are, if you were asked to describe, well, I'm going to ask for you to describe in 5 words who you are and why you chose those words. Go ahead, Delegate Aiyi'nah.
The voice, not the echo. I chose those words because particularly in a social media society, too many people aren't familiar with originality. And so too often we can decide to echo what's become popular instead of remain true to the voice that's inside of us. So I often remind myself that my voice is true, my voice is God sent, and that the echo isn't where it's at sometimes.
I sat here and I was like, oh, yeah, that's 5 words. Go ahead.
Ma'am.
Look, it took me a minute. That was my slow moment. And I was like, oh, okay. There you go.
Okay. I counted it down here, too. Praise the Lord.
Megan, I love that. It is definitely a struggle to remain in your own when other people are putting theirs on you. And to not be an echo of someone else, it takes a lot of courage, because people are really easy to conform to those who do as, everyone else. You know what I mean? So to have that's a strong statement. That's a very strong statement. All right, Lakesha, same question to you. Describe in 5 words who you are and why you chosen those words.
I wish I had a slogan like her. I would say I'm joyful, I'm powerful, I am motivated, I am original, and I am a carefree personality.
Yeah, you definitely give us the joy for real. Because I don't think I have seen your face without a smile on it at all. You know, anytime that I see you publicly or see you in person, there's a giggle, and that's good. And to be motivated because you actually do other things that require you to motivate and keep other people motivated in their process as well. Is that correct, Delegate Lakesha?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Yeah. So the Delegate Aiyi'nah, I also know that you are really strong in the DC area politics a little bit, and that you've kind of been involved in some things. You actually have an event coming up, and I actually want you to share that information if you have it on you about an event that event that you currently have coming up quite soon.
Yes, ma'am. Always ready, so I don't have to get prepared. I'm excited to tell everyone. It ties right into my platform my platform is transforming childhood trauma into triumph. And with that being said, I do work with the Future Foundation, which many may not know offers the only trauma-informed programs to Ward 8 youth and their families, and have done so since 2012. So in that same spirit, one of the programs there is the Super Parent Support Circle. Anybody can be a super parent, but this program offers trauma-informed resources to do so. And so they'll be having Parent to Be, which is the first ever of its kind, gender-neutral baby shower, that will be held virtually for Ward 18 parents. And so we have some speakers that'll be coming on. State Board Representative, our Ward 8 State Board Representative, Dr. Carlene Reed, will be there to speak about continuing education. We'll have some story time. We will be giving welcome baby gifts to these expectant parents. And regardless how folks feel about the reality of teen pregnancy, these children are coming, and we want to welcome them into the world with open arms. And that's just what we're hoping to do.
I love that. And, you know, and I it's actually something personal for me because I don't know if everybody really know my story, that I became a mother at 15 years old. And when I became a mother, people automatically assumed that my life was going to be just over. Like, you're not going to be able to do anything. You're not going to be able to continue your education. Well, sweetheart, they were all wrong, all completely wrong. So the fact that there is a program out there that's reaching out to those, as you say, non-gender binding parents is amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, the narrative is that fathers aren't involved in parenting as well. And so, you know, we have these baby showers and we just say expecting moms, but they are expecting fathers who are making a decision as to whether they're going to rob the Walmart for Pampers or, you know, be able to get some in a welcome basket. And when you spoke about, you know, being transparent enough to share your journey as a teenage mom, I am a product of teenage parenting. My mother and my father were 14 and 15 respectively when I was born. And so it's very important to me. I know that the trajectory of my life was based on the fact that my mother had not yet lived hers when I was born. And so that does lend itself to the work and why it's been done.
Mm-hmm. It's automatically they put us in a box and automatically assume that we don't have the drive or the ability to find the resources to come above what someone is trying to put you under. And that's one of the things I live proudly about, because I am a mother of 4. And my oldest daughter is 27 years old, and she finished school and finished, you know, those things. I have a second daughter that just graduated from North Carolina Central University, you know, and my youngest daughter, you know, finding herself, and then my son. But, you know, it'll keep on going here, Ms. Aiyi'nah. So we're going to segue into talking a little bit more about your platform. Let's talk about your actual platform for your journey and beyond.
Yes, ma'am. So I like to tell everybody that my platform didn't start with pageantry. It's actually my life's purpose. So I've been working to transform my own childhood trauma into triumph. And I'd like to consider my journey with you all at Miss Full Figure DMV as a part of that testimony. So in general, I use pageantry to tell folks I was the product of teenage parenting, that I was born and bred in Ward 8 on 13th and Mississippi Avenue and still made it to the Mecca, Howard University. I am the founding executive director of the Future Foundation. So I am my boss. I don't have a boss. And those aren't realities for a lot of Black women who are in their 30s, such as I. But it's possible for us all. There was no special treatment for me. No one did any favors for me. It was just myself, my determination, and God. And I think that being more transparent about the obstacles that we face and how common those obstacles are. The reality is most people have experienced some level of adverse childhood experiences, which are called ACEs clinically, and they lend themselves to criminal susceptibility. They lend themselves to mental health challenges. They cause cancer. They cause other health challenges. I'm also a cervical cancer survivor. And so as I learned that these things are interconnected and related, they are a Black issue. They are a women's issue. They are a human rights issue. I felt it important to bring it back to my community where, as you stated, we're often counted out before we're ever included and counted in. Mm-hmm. So that's just become my life's work, because I feel as though, again, so many members of my family, including my own mother, would have been afforded so many other opportunities had we been able to give an opportunity, not just to be the token, but to be the testimony. And so that's how we work with the youth and families in Ward 8. And again, it's Ward 8 because that's where I'm born and bred. And I invite so many others to start with where you came from.
Sounds great. Love it. And this is also why our very first pageant was at the Art Theater in Washington, D.C. We will get there soon, you know. Delegate Lakesha, I am so excited to hear about your platform. And I know you've been on a journey for quite some time, even though you also did a journey for yourself, you know, getting you back to your health that you was looking at. I remember seeing you doing dance parties with other women within our community, which I extremely love. Tell us about your platform, dear heart.
Yes, ma'am. So my platform is called Confidence is My Crown. And that's speaking on my confidence. It's not something that I've always had. It's not something that I was born with. It's something that I pretty much grew into, pretty much starting over and learning how to love myself. And with that being said, I am a part of a wonderful group of women called the Aiyi'nah Body Confidence Tour. And I am the confidence/model coach. So it's more than just about taking beautiful pictures. It's about getting together with like-minded women, sharing your stories and testimonies of triumph, and getting together and taking fabulous pictures, loving on each other, and continuing to promote each other and building each other up. Daily. We have daily meetings and things of that nature. So it's a group that I'm very proud of, and we're continuing to grow, and I can't wait to see it go further.
Yeah, you actually, okay, so let's not like downplay this, honey. We actually was just on a billboard Miss thing not too long ago. And let's talk about that experience.
So it was exciting. Someone reached out to us and said, hey, I would love to support you all. And we said, awesome. So we sent them some pictures, and they said, well, we're going to submit it to a billboard. So to see your face on a billboard is very exciting. And not only to speak of that, I also do modeling coaching as well. And one of my models is in a magazine, and the other model was selected to be on a billboard as well. So exciting.
Okay. It's those victories, honey. People, I don't find no victory to be small. Right. I'm gonna be quite honest with you, because you know sometimes people were like, oh, this little that, and we downplay some of our success, because we don't want to look too big. No, baby, it's big. I put these babies on a billboard. You know what I mean? This is what happened. Let's really talk about it and be proud about what we accomplished, because not everybody is receiving these opportunities.
Honey, I can't take a good selfie. Clap yourself up, period.
Oh my God. Let me tell you, I think that both of you have extraordinary platforms. And the fact is that we know that when you come into pageantry, some people have already evolved in what they're already standing for. It's just another place for them to scream about it. Like literally to scream about it. So when you come into a situation as this, a pageant, it is not to say that you learned your platform there. You may have made some interesting choices to adjust, or maybe use some things to uplift and move forward in your process, if that makes sense. And then it also gives people who may not have an opportunity to be exposed to you and who you are and what you're doing. So, you know, let's really get into, let me go here real quick. I'm going now into the fact of, we talked about your platforms. Now, when you talk about your platforms, when you reached out to have you reached out to anyone since you started the pageant to talk about after the pageant? What are you going to do after the pageant? Things set up after you move forward, win, lose, or draw. Have you talked to anybody about that yet, Delegate Lakesha?
Yes, well, of course, my whole team is rooting for me. Win or lose, we're going to continue the mission of the I Am Enough and preaching body confidence and to love yourself where you are. A lot of us want to lose weight or to change the image that we have, but while you have whatever you're going through, you need to enjoy where you are. So a lot of people are so busy wanting to change themselves, but it takes time and it doesn't happen overnight. So start with loving yourself today. That's my motto.
Yeah. How about you, Delegate Aiyi'nah?
Well, what's fortunate about our work being trauma informed is that there are many opportunities for folks to get involved. I will say, though, that I am very specific in how I see the Miss Full Figure DMV and Miss Full Figure National brand being engaged with the Future Foundation. As we said previously, everyone has had some level of trauma in their life. So I think, a basic trauma one-on-one wherein, allies, affiliates, and supporters of Miss Full Figure DMV have access to the language, right? They know their own ACE number. How many ACEs have you experienced yourself? They know how to use those terms when engaging others. A number of my delegate sisters, you may recall Miss Queen Michelle Austin spoke about her children, and she's from my community as well last year at the pageant. One of the young ladies, Queen Christy, was a social worker, and she talked about her work in social work. Queen Whitney has a daughter and is also an educator. And so with those things being said, right within the circle, there is a reach where we're touching the community that we want to see healed. And so having these healing conversations internally will lend themselves to being prepared to participate in the programs that exist Monday through Friday. And as you mentioned, sometimes on Saturdays for the youth, not just here in Ward 8, but the reality is we can create a future worth fighting for in anyone's hood, not just my own. And so my hope is that individuals are inspired to community parent the youth in their own community, because the reality is we all had an auntie who wasn't our auntie, who made sure we were in the house before the street lights came on. And if we felt comfortable enough to talk to children instead of at them, to talk with parents instead of about them, then we would find that some of that healing can be done. And so my hope is to model that. And again, these systems exist. We've been successful since 2012. We've served over 11,000 Ward 8 families in and of itself. And that's been with Jesus, Allah, anybody else you can think of. So imagine with the beautiful minds that have put their time and talent in the Miss Full Figure brand, as well as Miss Full Figure DMV. We're talking 5 years here and, over 30 on the back end. So with all of that time and talent, imagine what we can do for these young people that we love to call future adults at the Future Foundation, because they'll be grown one day. Now, where they're going to go when they're grown is up to us.
Exactly. It definitely comes from being that ideal of what you're looking for. And a lot of the children that's in our area and adults, women as well, don't have those examples. When I was young, I don't know, chime in here, ladies. When I was young, grandma didn't play. She wasn't trying to twerk with you. Okay. She wasn't playing with you.
Not at all.
She's going to tell you, you're going to sit down and you're going to have etiquette at this table. You're going to pray before you put this food in your mouth. We're going to have conversation at this table and talk about your day. That was what my grandmother used to do. You know what I mean? But then we also have those families, like you say, that necessarily didn't have grandma around. And they had to fight what they had to fight on a daily basis. The respect level of some of the children, and we want to kind of blame it on other people, but it's really a mixture of not having the right training as a parent, or having the right support as a parent, and having the people to be there as a parent to be able to push these children into a different light. My daughter had said yes ma'am to a woman, and this woman thought it was offensive.
I get that all the time.
And to me, I'm going, well, what? So my daughter, being the child of God as she is, and my child, said, well, if you choose for me not to respect you, I will respect your wishes. And decide not to have this conversation because I can't talk to you in the way I was brought up.
That blessed my heart. If you choose for me not to respect you, I will respect your wishes. Leave that right there.
And move about your business. Move about your business.
And see, that's why I work with the youth. You don't need adults when the youth are saying stuff like that. If you choose, that was your choice, ma'am.
Good choice.
Good day to you. Good day to you.
Yes. And Lakesha, I want to really talk about the whole thing about people and losing weight and doing all these things, because you definitely brought that up and you're talking about the body positive. So in the Miss Full Figure brand, we do talk about proper shapewear, proper garments and clothes for your body type. Because I do believe, and I'm not taking this away, but I'm going to say it. Queen Latrice had a statement, and it was stated because we were having a conversation. Sometimes people confuse ill-fitting clothes with body positivity. So when you think about that, are you thinking about, oh, am I saying that she shouldn't wear that? No, I'm not saying she shouldn't wear that. I just think that we want to be more in tune with what our bodies are and what look good on us. Why not? You know what I mean? And that doesn't go for just a woman of a fuller figure. I done seen some small girls and I'm going, baby, you only need to go up one more size. One more size. And everything would have fit just perfect on you. And you would look nice. My grandmother, I'm going back to her again. You remember those big hats in the church house?
Yes.
Those suits that they made sure that was dry cleaned and crisp. And they look like beautiful women. Beautiful women. I also look at Michelle Obama, who was fully covered. Honey. And beautiful woman. Then I look at Lizzo, who love her body, honey. She don't care what nobody say. And she do her due. You know? I think that your movement of I Am Enough is showing women that you can love exactly who you are, where you are. Because even if you lose the weight and you don't love yourself, guess what? You're still not going to love yourself.
Exactly.
Because you haven't fixed what was already broken.
And it's more than just weight.
Exactly. It's a mental understanding of who you are. Ladies, this information is deep. This is deep, deep stuff here. Okay? This is deep stuff because we're talking about the life of a child who grows into an adult. We're talking about an adult and maybe some children who don't really understand that it's okay to love what you look like. And this is why these are examples that are out here right now. And you two ladies are on a path that I am just super excited to see throughout. Because it's not easy to have these journeys. Now, I can tell you right now, Aiyi'nah, this is definitely the first time I have had a platform that was focused on what you're focusing on right now. So it enlightens. And we had that last week too, where we're talking about finances and stuff. We don't talk about this stuff every day.
Yes, my delegate sister Sadonna, really, it takes years. Let me just be clear. Individuals do not realize what happened on conversations with my sister the last time. It takes years to get to a place, and particularly as a Black mother, where you are not ashamed of your healing journey. And it doesn't take Iyanla Van Zandt and Oprah Winfrey Network to bring you to that place. So I just want to stand and say she's already a queen that she made that decision. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. The way that trauma is set up, there's primary, secondary, and tertiary trauma. So there's no way, just in the same way that her child is dealing with trauma, she's traumatized and trying to support. There's an anxiety around, oh Lord, there's another school year. How do I explain this to a teacher and hope that that teacher can still teach my child and not cast my child off? This is the norm. But we don't make space in our churches and our mosques to talk about it. We're not talking about it over wine on Wednesday. It's not on Clubhouse. It's not. My job actually has parent support circles on Clubhouse because everybody doesn't want to sit on camera and tell their business. Everybody doesn't understand that by being honest about your healing, you're helping someone else heal. When you sat and said to me, you know, I was 15 when I had my child. You helped heal me because we can talk about it and not walk around ashamed. It's not putting anyone on Front Street anymore. I don't have to be that older baby where you have to pretend like I'm your sister. Because let's be honest, there's some folks that are 30 years and older that have a mom who was raised as their sister because the ways in which we've stigmatized our own community.
And I agree with that. And I agree with that. And then, you know what, Lakesha, you know what I just thought about? I thought about one time you posted that your daughter had a conversation with you, and you and your daughter have open dialogue. You allow her the space to express herself, which is not normal sometimes in a Black home. Can you talk about how that came about in your relationship with your daughter? And also, how does she feel about you going through the pageant?
She's excited and she wants to get a dress and dress up as many times as I have. We already have one dress for her, but she wants a pantsuit too. I was like, girl, the pageant is about me. But it's important for me, especially raising a young lady, for her to be able to speak and communicate, because she should be the most comfortable with speaking with me. Because if you're not able to speak freely and ask questions and get to know, where else are they going to learn it? In the streets and from other people. And a lot of times those other kids are going to tell you wrong and stray you the wrong way. So I want to be your first resource, and I want to be able to assist you and answer whatever questions that you may have. I might not have all the answers, but let's discover them together. And I think it's very important. And like you were saying, in the Black community, a lot of times children are seen and not heard. And I really think from the moment that you're born and created, you have a voice that's just as equally as important. Now, you may not pay bills, but you're going to grow up and become a person in society that's just as important. So I think it's important and essential that my daughter is allowed a voice and allowed to have her words spoken freely and allow us to have open communication.
So, you know, what also with her seeing you going through your journey of making sure that you maintain positivity about who you are on the outer and the inner, do you ever see her really reflecting on those things with you? Has she ever said, Mom, you know, I understand that, and have those type of conversations with you?
Yes, I see her speaking of things like this with her friends and say, oh, you didn't talk about that with your mom? Well, my mom said this, and my mom said she would encourage the open communication amongst her friends with their parents as well.
I love that, because now if we're sitting here having a conversation right now, or conversing, you know, however you want to pronounce it, you know, right now, and it's just amazing how the two platforms actually intertwine with each other if you really think about it. We're talking about the body positive of you right now and what you're going through and what you're putting out there, and how you're encouraging other women to be okay with what they look like. And if you want to change something a little bit, that's okay too, baby. But make sure that you fix what's inside of you first. Because if you're not fixing what's inside of you first, no matter how pretty you look, you will still be ugly. You will still be unhappy. You will still be unfulfilled in your life. And I came up with that for myself when I decided that I wasn't going to let anybody else tell me exactly what type of person I am supposed to be. However, I opened myself up to learn and embrace new things. I keep what I keep, and I let go what I let go. And then that's what all of us have to be okay with. You know how they tell you, if you, like you were saying early on, you know, whoever your spiritual person is, whoever you praise to, whoever you pray to, whoever you get your knowledge to give you balance in your life, I am not the one to sit up here and tell you that ain't right. That is not my journey. That's nobody's journey. What it is for you to be willing to be okay with somebody being exactly what you say, Lakesha, where they are. Where they are. So let's move on and talk about something a little bit else. Let's talk about, why is this particular pageant important to you? Go ahead, Delegate. Let's go ahead with Delegate Aiyi'nah.
Cool. I heard about this pageant. I'd always wanted to do pageantry. I'd went to the Miss DC pageant information meeting years ago, and I was the biggest and blackest thing in the building, and they made me feel it, dear. I'm just going to be always honest with you, friends. Always honest over here. And so I was terrified. And then when I learned, I had a dear friend who's affiliated with the pageant system, and they shared with me, I won't be giving genders or anything, you know how the tea goes. And they shared with me that there was going to be a full figure DMV pageant. Well, at the time, my coins were not cute enough to partake, but it stayed in my head and stayed on my heart. And every year, I couldn't get around to it. And so I was going through a lot in my personal life, went on and continued in pageantry. And a dear friend of mine participated last year. So much love to first runner up of Miss Full Figure DMV Plus, Taylor Ware. That's my dear sister. And it was just a lesson because too many people compete, right? So your friend will tell you she has an interest in doing something. And the next thing you know, you and your homegirl are on stage against one another. But what that was God saying, no, girl, this isn't your year. Clap a good girlfriend up, cheer her on. And then your season will be what ended up being the Rise of the Queens. So I was introduced to you trying to get tickets to what ended up being the hottest ticket in town. So we'll just segue and say that now is the perfect time, Delegate Sisters, to drop the link in the comments because you don't want to be sitting outside the building trying to find out what happened, which was almost my state of circumstances to see about tickets to attending and supporting my dear friend. Don't let somebody tell you they got a ticket. Whole nother live. Anyway, with that being said, I was very impressed with the show. The show was very well ran. A good girlfriend of mine, DJ Honey, which is also another Black full figure woman, was the DJ. And there was a warmth there that isn't usually the case with pageantry. And because this was always something that was on my bucket list, and again, following my battle with cancer, I'm just knocking everything off the list. And I was in a season where I said, well, let me move forward. Let me apply and see what happens. And here we are conversing. And my hope is to be your next Miss Full Figure DMV 2021. And hopefully, if you're watching this, right, and you're watching because you don't know if you want to come in 2022, please let me be the first to say to you, fill out your application, darling. Get your clothing deal. We're not going to talk about if I will apply. When you apply and you are a delegate sister, I'll be excited to watch you sitting right here on this screen as well. Do it. I'm talking to you.
You talking to them, baby. You talking to them. That was quite awesome because I remember that conversation because when you did come to when we had our conversation, I think you were a little bit shocked to hear, yeah, no problem. Come on. You know?
Pageants are different. Are different. You don't know everything, friends. You may know some things, you may know a lot of things, but you don't know everything. And it's proper etiquette to ask when you come to a pageant, can I do this? Can I do this? Do you allow this? Is this allowed? So I just try to use my etiquette. That's all. You had the warmest pageant voice. There's a lot of pageant calls to be made, and they all sound like you're calling customer service at Comcast. So, you were very warm and very inviting, and it made me excited to participate. I didn't feel like I had to come and it would be a sterile environment as some pageant communities can be, just being honest.
Understandable. Trust me, I do understand. And I think that was just completely hilarious about you talking about when you went to this other event with the other pageant. It's kind of crazy. When I got into this pageant process, I also, even though I was in a room full of women that was full figured, I'm short. Okay.
That's my ministry too.
I'm short. And women my size, if they're over 5'7", they look like Coca-Cola bottles, and I'm looking like a little huggy. It is what it is, so I'm glad you enjoyed your experience. And, we know and love Miss Taylor Ware. I love that girl to death. My Miss First Runner-Up. I've been blessed to have Royal Courts every year since we've been established to be amazing. And we're not talking about that it's easy. It's not an easy situation. Anytime you merge personalities. I don't like when people be like, oh, it's women. It ain't got nothing to do with women. It got something to do with human and personalities. Human personality. It's always going to be some jiggle there. But we make a plot. We make an understanding that we will respect each other regardless of what's going on. And I appreciate the women that has been a part of this pageant who have done so. So I love it. Delegate Lakesha, why is this pageant important to you, pretty?
Well, it was brought to my attention a few years ago, and I watched the young ladies create a sisterhood. And I was like, wow, they just seem to really, really like each other. And I was like, do they have that much time? And then after investigating into it a little more, I decided that I wanted to be a part of the sisterhood. And I followed up looking at it last year, and I was like, But I said, enough is enough. Stop twiddling my fingers and stop saying this is something I want to do, and go ahead and just go for it and do it. And then it has the support of a lot of the people that are in my I Am Enough, and then my family and friends and my model sisters. So I'm here for it. And my major thing is to, of course, get my platform out there, and then to have all of these fabulous sisters. It's like a sorority. So, and I always wanted to be in a sorority. So this is like a perfect opportunity for me.
Well, you know, we get labeled sometimes, but at the end of the day, we're definitely a circle that have differences and have likes. And I love the fact that we have mixtures, because, you know, every year we gain another sister who adds a little more to it. And it's like a big old puzzle. This puzzle will never stop going, and every piece fits. Sometimes we put it in the wrong place, and then we put it in the right place, and it works. It just happens to work. Ladies, I really enjoyed this conversation tonight. Both of you have done a phenomenal job. And Aiyi'nah has already told them when you register for next year. Because, you know, my final question is usually, what would you tell someone who is looking to be a part of this? Aiyi'nah has already told you guys, you know, don't
You're all you need. You are all you need. You are all you need. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this journey has continued to teach me you are all you need. Period. Replay it tomorrow in case you missed it.
Be worthy, because you are worthy. And we talk about I am beautiful, I am enough, I am worthy. That's what we talk about. We talk about it since the beginning of time. I sent it in a box where you can look at it, and the words do say, I am.
I got the box right here. Hold on. A commercial for the people.
A commercial. Yes, ma'am.
Hold
yes,
on, wait. On the inside.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate it. It was a labor of love. But I want you to understand, as a whole, as individuals, we are phenomenal. Together, we are a force to be reckoned with. And I will say that over and over and over again. Ladies, thank you so much. I want you to have an amazing night. And of course, we got some things that we're preparing for. Now we know that we are getting ready. And if you already don't know, listen, this pageant is not going to be one that's going to be waiting on people to purchase tickets. Ticket sales are not a problem for this pageant. Okay? That's never been an issue there. It is going to be absolutely an extravaganza of the rise of the queens. All right, everybody. Good night. Ladies, tell everybody good night, pretty baby.
Good evening, everyone. As well, wear your mask. Please.
Wear your mask. I love it. Oh, my God. That was another awesome conversations with my sisters. Those ladies' platforms are amazing. They're already working in them, been working in them, and will be working in them after this process. It is an ideal thing to understand that we are a community-based pageant that has a little flair of fashion. It always been that way for the Miss Full Figure DMV division. We first focus on making sure that we are uplifting and encouraging the ones that's to the left and the right of us. And as we do that, we go into our community and share that same type of love. If you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, I want to make sure that you are following our Miss Full Figure DMV pageant on IG and Facebook by going to Miss MS Full Figure DMV pageant, MS Full Figure DMV pageant on IG and Facebook. And then not only that, you can also, follow us. No, I'm sorry, wrong word. That's not a follow. We already did following. We want you to subscribe to our YouTube. and gentlemen, that is our YouTube channel at Miss Full Figure DMV Pageant. And then we are in a mix of our tickets are on sale right now for our 5th anniversary pageant. It's going to be an extravaganza. I said it. August 14th is the actual pageant day. August 13th is our preliminary. If you purchase a ticket, it includes your preliminary ticket and your pageant day ticket. Each person who comes in on the current tickets will have a sit-down dinner, and it's a formal affair, honey. So bring out the gowns and the tuxedo. No jeans, honey, and you can leave the little after-style dresses for somewhere else. We're looking for the glamour, baby, and we hope to see you in the building. Have a good night. Oh, almost forgot something very important. Do know, if no one told you today, know that Miss Ross loves you. Why? Because God said so. Good night.